Following these steps will help you write an amazing artist statement. If you're new to the world of fine art, you might be asking yourself, what is an artist statement? An artist statement is writing that acts as an introduction to you, your practice, or a specific body of work. It's a tool that's meant to help people understand you in your own words. Artist statements are used all the time, primarily in publications, exhibition texts, press releases, even your own website. If you're like me, you'll be primarily using them on your website or in applications and open calls, whether you're trying to get into a show, a residency, or get funding for your work. What do you want to include in your artist statement? First, I recommend taking some time to brainstorm and write down just a bunch of keywords, and only keywords that apply to you and your work. Those keywords can be things like abstract, oil paint, sociology, whatever applies to you and whatever themes or ideas you're working on. Just write down as many keywords as you can think of. After you're finished brainstorming your keywords, you're going to want to answer these questions in the same kind of format. Just write down whatever comes to your mind. Don't worry about how it sounds. Don't worry about the formatting. You'll fix that in the editing stage. What is the thematic focus of your work? What is the content of your work? What are your influences? Personal, sociological, art historical? What materials are you working with? Describe the process for using those materials. Who are you? Where are you from? When did you start this body of work? After you answer these questions and write down a bunch of keywords, you'll have a great foundation for putting everything together and starting to form your artist statement. So what are the different types of artist statements? Well, the first kind is the biography. It's written about you. It's written in the third person point of view. The other type of artist statement will be about a project or a specific body of work you're making. And for that, you'll need 3 different versions: a full page, a half page, and an elevator pitch that's only 2 sentences. This is what you should include in your 1-page project-specific artist statement. You're going to want to break it up into 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is your thesis. Make it about 1 to 3 sentences. Consider this the hook of your artist statement. Use paragraph 1 to define the what and why of your work. Paragraph 2 should be about 4 to 5 sentences. This is where you start talking about form and content and materials. Reference a piece from your body of work that exemplifies your thesis. And paragraph 3 would be another 3 to 4 sentences. This is your conclusion. This is where you're going to tie everything together. Once you've got your full page written, you can then take that and condense it down into about a paragraph, maybe 4 to 6 sentences, and that'll be your medium length artist statement. And then once you've honed it down from there, you can take that and cut it down even further into your elevator pitch. Your elevator pitch should be short, sweet, and interesting enough to get someone hooked into your project idea and get them to ask for more information. Okay, so I've pulled up a few examples of artist statements that I like. And you can see this is a perfect example of a 3-paragraph full-page artist statement. The first paragraph includes the what and why and contains the title of the project. The second paragraph goes more in-depth on the background of the project. And then the third paragraph talks more about the themes and formal approach to the work. And here's a great example of the short statement by Connie Imbudin. Connie's 1-paragraph artist statement perfectly captures her idea and the practice behind it. This could easily be cut down into a 2-sentence elevator pitch. For your bio, you can follow this exact same process, just make it shorter. For a bio, you really only want about 1 paragraph that's maybe 4 to 5 sentences long. And here are 2 great artist bio examples, one for Alex Calder and one for John Chamberlain. Now, I understand that both of these artists are famous, they've had long careers, they've had a lot of accomplishments under their belts, and probably had someone else writing their bio for them. But I think there's a lot that can be learned from looking at these 2 examples, namely that they perfectly capture what the artist's intention, practice, and work is about, without overly listing too many accomplishments of theirs. Okay, now that we've gotten through what and where to include, let's go over what not to include in your artist statement. First and foremost, don't include your age anywhere unless it's super specific to the work that you're making. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people in the art industry are ageist, and you're either too young or too old for their personal taste, and they will make decisions based on it. Don't include over-explanatory sentences. Try and find language that is relevant to everyone who can be looking at your statement, but don't have over-explaining run-on sentences because people will tune out. Don't use poetic or prose type writing. I know that's a lot of people's initial inclination, but it's a big turnoff for people who are looking to just get some information about the work. And also don't include overly technical words or jargon that you think makes you sound smarter. I promise it's going to come off that way, and most people are going to get turned off by it and not be interested in your work because of it. Okay, now that we've gone over what to include and what not to include and how to get a basic structure of your writing in, I want to go over something else that's really crucial to artist statements, and that's feedback. It's really important that you get feedback from artists and non-artist friends alike. It's really important to get the perspective of someone who may be in the art industry, but then also someone who's outside of the art industry. They'll be able to give you 2 different perspectives, and you'll be able to find that harmonious blend for all of your applications and exhibition text. When you're asking for feedback, ask your friends to read your statement back to you out loud. This is a really great way for you to hear if it doesn't really flow right, if there's any mistakes in the grammar or the punctuation. That's going to be the stage where you really catch that. Something else you can do if you're having writer's block is that you can have a friend interview you. Have them ask you those questions we went over earlier and record or take notes while you're answering them. This is a great exercise in general, even if you don't have writer's block, because a lot of times when you're talking through your ideas with another person, you'll discover verbs and sentences that you might not have thought of on your own when you're sitting down to write by yourself. Another great piece of advice I have is hire a professional editor if you can. I know this may sound weird to you. You may not think that an editor is capable of capturing your voice. Artist statements are super personal. How can you suggest that? But trust me, this is a super common practice that a lot of artists I know use. Even a lot of professional artists in galleries that you may not think hire someone else do. Think of it like your favorite YouTube creator. They're not writing every single script. They're not editing every single video. They're hiring people and they're leaning on experts in other fields to help them with this aspect of their work. And you can too. There's nothing stopping you. This isn't there's no rules for this. Okay, you can go on Fiverr and hire an editor and see if you like it or not. If you do, great. If you don't, that's also okay. And lastly, before we wrap this up, I want to leave you with some parting points to remember while you're writing your artist statement. An artist statement is a living document, okay? It's not static. You don't just write it once and then you're done with it. You'll need to go back and edit them over time. You'll need to revisit them when you've grown, because as you grow, your art practice will grow and your artist statement will need to grow with you. You will need to write multiple statements and multiple versions of the same statements. Ideally, you'll have one for every single project and your bio, and then you'll need to tailor those statements to every single application that you're applying to. And that ties into my next point. Your statement will need to be tailored to whoever's looking at it, whether that's a museum curator or an average person who's going to visit your work in a gallery. It's really important to think about the context in which your statement's going to be viewed. And lastly, don't reinvent the wheel. You don't need to create some groundbreaking piece of literature for your artist statement. There's a template and a format, and there's an industry standard that's accepted, and everyone follows it, and it's okay for you to follow it too. And remember, guys, practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better you'll be at it, and the better and more confident you will feel every time you need to revisit and rewrite an artist statement. Okay, guys, and with that being said, you're ready to go out and write your artist statement. Drop a link in the comments below to your website or to your artist statement. I'd love to read what you guys wrote. If you found this video useful, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. My goal is to create as much free educational content and resources for artists as I can, and that's the best way that you can help me do that. Okay, guys, thanks. I appreciate you.